I just, from the very beginning, both my children were born here, and that's been 30-some years ago. Every major surgery I've had has taken place here, except for growing up in New York and my one thing in Des Moines. In December of 2019, I was seeing the oncologist in a normal visit, and he discovered an issue with my blood and told me I was going to have a transfusion that day, at which I was like, oh, I can't do that. I got to go to a ball game and I got to cover somebody's class. And then he said, no, you will, and I did. And then after Christmas, I had appointments with Dr. Whaling to kind of figure out what was going on. And so Brandy set me up, and in February I had 2 scopes, and as I was coming out of my grogginess, Dr. Whaling had told me that there was a mass, and then when I was fully awake, then we had quite a conversation and decided 3 hours later we would go right back in. And so he assembled his team back, and I went back in, and he took it out and told me I was cured by surgery, but would recommend that I do chemo as a preventative, which I did. After the surgery, the people on the floor were so excellent to me. Dr. Whaling even came over on his day off. It's not just the floor, it's people at admissions, it's the girls in dietary. They would make chicken salad sandwiches for me. Anything I asked for, I got. I mean, people were compassionate and kind. Every 2 weeks in infusion here, I did not have to go anywhere else. I had the best care in infusion. I've never had a hard day or a bad day. And even when the chemo got rough, we looked for some alternatives that would help me, and everybody was good about that. You really get close to these people that you've never known before because you're sitting next to them every 2 weeks. And those girls, Sherry never has anything but a smile on her face, and they laugh with you and they tease with you, and that has to make those situations, those dire situations that people are in, makes it so much better even though you're in a dire situation. After my surprise surgery, my family was here, you know, and we had a ball game that night. It's the first time I missed a ball game in over 20-some years. And so they were here. My daughter spent the night here. Everybody who came in to say hi. So there was never, I laugh because even though I got a cancer diagnosis, I never had a moment where I cried. I never had that because everything was so uplifting. Everything that people came to the room who cared for me. I had a couple times when after the surgery, I had a couple incidences, and the girls working on the floor, the LPNs, the RNs, right there, anything I needed, and they made me feel good. I hear them talking as they go down the hall and stuff, and it's always uplifting and it's always positive. I think that's one of the things why I never took a moment to cry, because everything was positive, and everybody who was in on the decisions. When we decided to do chemo, there were like 6 people in that little room telling me this is going to be okay. I'm filled with gratitude and celebration of the people that I see, you know, and luckily it's not like these are people who are in Des Moines. I still get to see these people and still have a relationship with them. And you know, that's what it's about. Just had an anniversary scope, if you want to call it that, and things were clear and I'm good to go. I still see the oncologist every 3 months. I think about Michelle and Mike, you know, with my CAT scans and ultrasounds. It can't get any better for me than the people that I deal with here. I have complete faith, and that's why last year, because it was Dr. Whaling and his group, I didn't get nervous about that scope. I guess I should have, because, I mean, they found something, but I'm good to go. I was back at school on the first day of school, and that was my goal. I can never express how great every time I come here, how it goes. It's just unbelievable. My experiences have been nothing but excellent, excellent. And I tell people everywhere I go, this small town hospital with the staff here, I mean, and it's the entire staff. It's not just one or two people. The care is unbelievable, and I can never repay these people for what they've done for me. And you know, I mean, they saved my life.